Winter remakes the north, and the caribou buck is built for it. Snow hardens into crust, wind strips heat from open ground, and food sinks under ice. Yet the caribou buck keeps moving, because in the Arctic and subarctic, standing still is losing heat. Start with those hooves. A caribou buck's hooves are wide and sharp-edged, spreading like snowshoes to keep him from punching through powder. In deep winter, the hoof pads tighten and toughen, turning each step into a crampon on ice. Splayed dew claws act like rear stabilizers, adding extra bite when he scrambles across drifts or side hills on glare ice. Now the nose. A caribou buck breathes through a long maze of nasal passages that pre-warm frigid air and reclaim heat from every exhale. It's a built-in radiator, saving energy when temperatures plunge and water is scarce. Moisture recaptured in the nose means he can go longer without finding fresh, unfrozen streams. The coat is two-layer armor. Hollow guard hairs trap air, and the underfur seals it in, turning the caribou buck into a walking thermos. Frost gathers on the surface while the skin beneath stays dry. Snow can settle on his back like tossed salt and not melt, proof that little warmth escapes. Food is the real problem. Under hard snow, the summer greens are gone, so the caribou buck digs for lichen, slow-growing, ultra-resilient, but buried. He craters through crust with those chisel hooves, nose low, sweeping for the faint scent of reindeer moss. Each crater costs energy. He chooses wind-scoured ridges where the pack is thinner and the return is better. Listen as he moves. Click, click. That sound comes from tendons snapping over foot bones with each step, an acoustic beacon inside a whiteout. In a scattered herd, the clicks help caribou keep contact when wind erases tracks within minutes. The rhythm changes with pace, a slow metronome while feeding, a quicker code when the herd stretches into a traveling line. Travel is survival. Caribou bucks can cover tens of kilometers in a day across open tundra, leaning into ground-hugging winds that scour the snow. They draft behind each other, line abreast over ridges, then string out in valleys where drifted snow is deeper. He reads the ground by texture, hard windboard, sugary facets, slabs that could trap a leg, choosing routes that burn the fewest calories. Predators test the herd. Wolves watch the edges, probing for injury or fatigue. The caribou buck stays mid-pack where many eyes share the work, then surges to break trail when the snow softens and younger animals bog down. When danger closes, the herd compresses into a tight, shuffling mass that's hard to split. Then, at a signal only they hear, it unspools and runs. Across the year, his priorities shift. Autumn is rut, huge antlers, neck thick with muscle, fat burned in brutal contests. By midwinter, the fuel is gone. Antlers drop to save energy and avoid catching on branches while digging. Females often keep theirs deeper into winter. For a buck, going bareheaded lowers weight for long travel and reduces the chance of antler lock accidents in crusted brush. Antlers are not just for show. In fall, their size and symmetry broadcast strength to rivals and condition to potential mates. In summer, growing antlers run with blood under velvet, a calcium demand that only a rich diet can pay. By the time snow returns, the bill is settled. Winter is for recovery, not display. Inside, the stomach runs a quiet factory. Lichen is slow fuel, low in protein, rich in carbs. So the buck's rumen works like a fermentation plant, extracting energy that other grazers can't reach. Microbes do the heavy lifting. Patience does the rest. Chewing the cud, he recycles every fiber of value, turning frozen crust and brittle twigs into heat and motion. When storms hit, shelter is strategy, not luck. He beds on leeward slopes where snow collects and insulates, curling his legs under his body to reduce exposed surface area. Heat loss slows, the heart rate drops, and he waits for the sky to clear. If the wind shifts, he shifts with it, always finding the pocket where air is calm and snow is soft. Senses adapt to the season. Wide, low-set eyes watch the horizon where predators appear as moving dots against the white. Ears scan for footfalls, wing beats, and the soft hiss of a stalking body through crusted willows. Even scent carries differently in the cold. He swings his head crosswind to net the faintest trace of wolf or man. Spring redraws the map. As crust softens and the sun lifts higher, the caribou buck shifts to new greens, sedges, willow tips, early forbs. Antlers regrow under velvet, and pace quickens as insects arrive and the herd climbs to breezier ground. Rivers open, calves drop into a world of brief abundance, and the buck's job is simple again. Move, feed, keep the line. But winter will come again. The design that keeps a caribou buck alive is conservative and proven. Snowshoe hooves, heat-saving nose, air-trapping fur, a stomach tuned to lichens, and a mind tuned to motion. In a white world, he is not fighting the cold so much as outthinking it, one efficient step at a time.